50 years ago, in a remote corner of Ethiopia, a team of explorers looked into the dust and saw the glint of a bone that would shatter our understanding of our own origins. We call her Lucy. For decades, she was the missing link, a lone grandmother at the base of a straight ladder leading to us. But today, a revolution in paleoanthropology has turned that ladder into a tangled, vibrant bush. Recent findings tell us Lucy was not a lonely pioneer. She was a highly successful survivalist in a crowded world of different humanish species. Today, we are taking a deep dive into the real Lucy, the anatomy, the mystery of her death, and the social lives of the creatures that walked the earth 3 million years before us. It is late November 1974. The harder region of Ethiopia is Afarensis. Donald Johansen and Tom Gray are surveying a site they call Locality 162. Johansen spots a fragment of an arm bone, then a piece of a skull. They didn't realize it yet, but they had found the most complete early hominin in history at that time. The excavation took 3 painstaking weeks. When they were finished, they had recovered 47 out of 207 bones, about 40% of a skeleton. One of the most amazing things, there were no duplicate bones. Every piece fit. They belonged to a single individual. Lucy was 1.05 meters tall, just over 3 feet, and weighed about 28 kilograms. But certain features, like her wisdom teeth, proved she was not a child. She was a young adult. That night at camp, the team celebrated with the Beatles cassette tape. The song "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds" was playing so often that the fossil simply became Lucy. Formally, she is AL288-1. She is 3.18 million years old. At first, Johansen thought she might be a primitive member of our own genus, Homo. But 4 years later, after comparing her to fossils found in Laetoli, Kenya, a new species was born, Australopithecus Afarensis. The well-preserved condition of Lucy's fossil allowed scientists to study her morphology in a way that had never been possible before. She is the ultimate example of mosaic evolution, where different parts of the body evolve at different speeds. To put it simple, she was an ape-brained creature with a human-like body. So what Lucy and chimpanzee share? First, the head. She had an elongated skull with a very small brain case. Her face and jaw jutted out permanently. Since her face was mostly missing, scientists reconstructed her cranium by combining fragments from different specimens. The result? A brain about the size of a grapefruit. Second, the upper body. Her shoulder blades and joints were angled upward, suited for climbing. She had long arms and hands with curved fingers. In fact, her humerus to femur ratio shows her arms were much longer relative to her legs than ours are today. Third, the teeth. Her dental arcade was V-shaped, a primitive trait, unlike the rounded parabolic curve of our own teeth. And what Lucy and modern humans share? First, the balance. Her spine connected to her skull from directly underneath. a critical feature for keeping the head steady while walking upright. Second, the core. She had a robust, broad basin-shaped pelvis. This supported her upper body weight and held her upright. Third, the gait. Her thigh bones were angled inward toward the knees. This valgus angle placed her weight directly over her joints, allowing for a human-like stride. Finally, the foundation. Her feet were compact and arched, built to support her full weight with every step. This mix of traits challenges everything we used to believe. It proves that we started walking on two legs millions of years before our brains began to grow large. We don't just have her bones, we have her footsteps. In 1978, in Laetoli, Tanzania, Mary Leakey's team discovered the 27-meter-long trail of footprints preserved in volcanic ash. These are the oldest known hominin footprints, and they are attributed to Lucy's species. They show a heel strike and a toe-off. The biomechanics are almost identical to modern humans, though their knees might have been slightly more bent. But the footprints reveal something even more human: social dynamics. We see a small group walking together. In one section, a smaller individual is actually stepping into the footprints of a larger one, perhaps a child following a parent or an apprentice following a leader. A second set of prints, found 40 years later, shows a much larger individual walking alongside smaller ones. This suggests a social group consisting of a large male, several females, and their children. This evidence of sexual dimorphism, where males were significantly larger than females, is a huge clue. In nature, this usually means the males competed for access to a group of females, similar to modern gorillas. Lucy's discovery triggered a renaissance in paleoanthropology. Because her sample was so extensive, it provided the baseline data for all future research. But as we've found more fossils, the story has become more complicated. As some scientists have pointed out, Lucy was not alone. Between 3.7 and 3 million years ago, Africa was a laboratory of evolution. We've found Australopithecus living just miles away from Lucy. We found the birdly foot, which shows a different species was walking nearby with a grasping big toe like a chimp. This means the phylogenetic tree, the family tree, is actually a bush. Lucy's species was just one branch. Some branches lead to us. Others, like the robust Australopithecus with their massive chewing muscles, eventually went extinct. How did she die? In 2016, a team at the University of Texas performed high-resolution CT scan on Lucy's bones. They found something startling: green stick fractures in her shoulder and ankles. These are the types of breaks that happen to living bone, not fossilized bone. The researchers concluded that Lucy fell from a height, likely a tree, at a speed of 30 miles per hour. She might have reached out her arms to break her fall, crushing her shoulder joints. While Donald Johansen himself remains skeptical, the theory is a powerful reminder. Even though Lucy's hips and feet were advanced and ready for the ground, She spent a significant part of her life in the trees for safety and food. Australopithecus Afarensis existed for at least 700,000 years. That is more than twice as long as our own species, Homo sapiens, has been on this planet. Lucy proves that being human is a journey, not a destination. She had a walk, but she had a chimp's brain. She lived in a social world of cooperation and competition. She bridged the gap between the forest and the savanna. 50 years later, Lucy is more than just a famous fossil. She's a reminder that our history is written in the earth. Every time you take a step, you are using a biomechanical design that Lucy was perfecting 3 million years ago under the African sun.